to Rocket 21. My name is Angie. Today I'm with Christopher. He's from LA, California. He has been trading with Rocket for a couple of months. He had a 25K account and he was able to make $2,800 off of it. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here today.
Thank you, Mina. It's an honor being here. Super excited to kind of just let you guys pick at my brain, and hopefully I can give you guys some tips that help you out.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself and your story and how you got started with trading.
So I got started in trading late 2019. My name is Christopher, by the way. Like she said, I come from Los Angeles, California. I'm the oldest of two siblings, so I feel a lot of pressure. I feel like I got to make something of myself, set a good example for my younger siblings. And I got started in trading late in 2019 through iMarkets Live. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, the
Mhm,
multi-level marketing.
mhm.
So I joined. Then I realized that they were more focused on recruiting people instead of teaching you how to trade. So from there, I branched off onto my own. And then you can say all of 2020, because it was the pandemic, I was on EDD, unemployment. I was just using that entire time to really learn Forex. So all of 2020, I went through Swaggy C's course. Then
Okay.
I ran into that, gave me the foundation for trading. Like I knew how to read candlesticks, how I identify trends, but I didn't have everything I needed to really put it together. And
Mhm.
that's when late 2020 I came across Chart Addicts, founded by Roy Dunya. He's the guy that hosts the FX Summit. So with their course, and then I came across FX Alex G starting 2021. And then basically that's like how I got into trading. Just those two courses would really help me out.
Okay, awesome. So what is your trading plan? How do you go about taking your setups and like just preparing yourself to and to be in the markets?
So I do a market outlook every Sundays. I clear my charts and then I just go through all the pairs and I try to find the pairs that are in a trending market. I don't like trading consolidating pairs. So I'll see what's in a trending market. And then after then I do it's called time frame analysis. So I'll start off on the weekly. I mark off my key levels. I see where supply and demand or support and resistance. And then I'll go down to the daily and I'll find a trend. And then the way I do it is I need to at least have three confluences to take a trade.
Mhm.
And then two of the time frames need to be in sync. And I'm very I got this from FX Alex G. So it needs to be like, let's say if the weekly is bullish, then the daily has to be bullish as well in order for me to want to take a buy. It can't be a weekly bullish, daily bearish, and then 4 hour bullish. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't know how to say it, but like the two
Yeah,
time
I
frames that are close to each other have to be in the same trend. You get me?
have to correlate.
Yeah. So the weekly is bearish, but daily is bullish, and 4 hours bullish. Then I'm looking to take buys on the 4 hour up into that weekly area of supply or demand, depending on where I'm going. And
Okay.
then I just wait for candlestick rejections, and then I'll take my trade. I don't trade until Tuesday night going into London. So like from Tuesday, basically Wednesday. Wednesday is when I really start looking for a trade because from my experience, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays, it's a lot of fake outs. It'll go one way and then wick the other way. So you just got to be super patient and not let FOMO get the best of you.
I agree with you with trading on Tuesdays. I trade New York session, but I've noticed the same thing. Tuesday gives like a nice setup. Like not
Mhm.
always that, but Tuesdays
Yeah.
are a good day to start your trading week. Okay, so do you mainly trade London session or do you also trade New York session?
I mainly trade London, New York overlap. So I have a weird schedule. I'll be in bed by 10 o'clock and I go to, because I already have everything marked. So I mark up everything on Sunday and I pick my top 2 to 3 pairs. And then once I have my pairs, I actually put alerts. Do you know what that is? The alerts?
Yeah, of course.
So I put alerts for whenever the price is at my level, then I'll look at the chart. So what I do is I go to sleep by 10 o'clock. Then I wake up again. I put an alarm. I swear to God, I wake up at 12 midnight just to see the chart real quick on my phone. If it's not nowhere near my area, I go back to sleep, and then I put another alarm again for 2 a.m. So I take like little naps, and then I
So
wake up at
sorry. 12 midnight in LA is Asian session still, or is that
it's
the
the
start of
open of New York. It's the open of New York.
midnight in California?
Yeah, because it's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in Miami.
Oh, but In the wait, are you talking about midnight or like midday?
Midnight, 12, like midnight.
Midnight in California is the open of New York session?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
yeah. Well, unless I have my thing, I have this app that shows me when the market opens, and it says it's London opens at 12 a.m. right here. So the reason I wake up at 12 is because that's market open. I just kind of see,
Oh, London session at
yeah,
midnight. Okay,
yeah.
London
So I
session. You
was
said
from
New
New York.
York session. That's why I was
No,
confused.
no, 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 no.
Okay, so
So
New York
London,
session would open at what time over there?
5 a.m. my time, 5 a.m.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, but New York session at midnight in California, 3 hours up. I was confused, but okay, I understand. Okay, cool. So okay, so you
So
wake up at 12 and you.
I wake up at 12 really quick just to kind of see what's going on. Is there any momentum, any volume? Has it moved anywhere from 10 o'clock? And then I go back to sleep again because I trade on the 4 hour. So I won't take an entry after the until a 4 hour closure, which is basically by 2 a.m.
Mhm.
So I look again at 2 a.m. If I see price by my area of interest, then I scale down to the 1 hour, sometimes a 30 minute. And if I see some like candlestick pattern rejections, I'll get in. But if I don't see anything yet around 2 a.m., then I go back to sleep and I wake up at 5 o'clock. 5 in the morning,
Okay.
that's when I get my day started. And by then, based off my experience, by then you can already tell if you're gonna have a trade or not. So I'll kind of get into it when I break down my chart. My entries are not super sniper entries. I don't get in with like 5, 10 pip stop loss. I have a good 60 pip stop loss, but then my take profit is like 200 pips.
Okay.
So that's how I trade. I'm not so focused on the entry as long as I'm getting in the right direction and in the right place.
So what is like your risk to reward on average?
Nothing less than a 1 to 3. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's nice. Okay,
So
cool.
the reason I like to do a 1 to 3 is because think about it. Let's say you take 3 trades, right? You lose the first two. You're only risking $100 per trade to make 400. So you lose one trade, you lose two trades, you're down $200, right? If you had a 1 to 1 risk to reward, not to like speak on anybody that has a 1 to 1, you will need to win 3 trades back to back again just to be back at break even.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so let's say with my risk to reward, you lose one trade, you lose a second, you're down $200, but you win the third trade, you just made $400. So you get back your 200 that you lost, and now you're $200 in profit. So that way you can always stay in the game, and with a lot of prop firms, if you're doing proper risk management, you're only risking 1% per trade. And then the amount that you can lose is 10% on the account. That means you have to lose 10 trades consecutively in order to blow the account. And if
Mm-hmm.
at that point, if you are losing 10 trades back to back, it means there's either a problem with your technicals or your psychology, and you need to take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like a 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3 is good. And 1 to 3, 1 to 2. Those are great. Okay, cool. So in based on your like psychology, how has your psychology changed, let's say, um from, well, you told me you actually did sales. So from doing sales and like just like, normal to like trading, like how has your psychology changed and how have you been able to grow as a trader?
So the biggest thing that I had to overcome was a lot of us growing up, especially if you come from a Hispanic household, even just anybody in general, the more hours you put into something, the more
Mhm.
you're gonna get out of it. So, for example, let's say you work overtime at a job, you work more hours, you're gonna get paid more. Me, since I do door-to-door sales, if I spend more time knocking on the doors, it's gonna translate to more income.
Mhm.
With trading, however, the the start of learning trading, learning the technicals, learning the fundamentals, and learning the psychology and how to read a chart. Yes, that requires a ton of hours so you can actually grasp the concept of trading. But once you're trading and you're trying to become profitable, for me the hardest part was getting rid of that old more hours equals more money mindset. So it was hard for me to actually step away from the charts because I felt like if I wasn't constantly looking at the charts, I wasn't constantly placing a trade, that I wasn't making progress, and therefore I wasn't a trader. And FX Alex G says this a lot too. He goes, just because you're not in a trade doesn't mean you're not a trader. And
Mhm.
as simple as it sounds, it took me about 2 years to actually learn that. And I feel like for me, that's been the biggest difference in my trading, what's actually helped me out. Now, instead of trying to be in a trade every single day to feel like I'm getting closer to becoming a profitable trader, I wait. I wait for the best setups. And if it doesn't come to my level of interest or my area that I want it to come to, I won't take the trade.
Okay.
And now, so one thing that helps me as well is I don't measure my success based off of P&L or profit loss. I actually measure my success based on how well I was able to follow my rules for that week. Did I risk 1%? Did I wait for the trades to come to my area? When I was in a trade, was I constantly looking at it, or did I just set and forget it? And so that's how I measure my success now. Not so much on the numbers that I see, but on how well I was able to follow my rules. So I would say that's how my mindset has changed over the years in trading.
Okay. So what are some tips that you would give traders, seeing you today, that are important and key things for traders to know and implement in this journey?
First, understand the kind of person you are. Like you gotta understand, are you impatient, are you impulsive, or are you patient? Because that's gonna determine your trading style. If you're very, like, I would say, impatient, you want to be a scalper in and out of the market. And then find anybody in the trading space who's trading you can understand, and then just go all in on learning their material. Don't overcomplicate things for yourself by looking at multiple strategies, because there's no one strategy that is the end all be all.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
find what makes sense for you and then practice it until you got it down. And then another thing I would say is don't rush the process. Definitely don't compare your results to somebody else who's been doing this for 10 years, 5 years plus.
Absolutely.
And just be a student, constantly be learning. Even when you feel like you've got it down, keep learning. And journal. And journal all your trades. Definitely. You can either write it down or you can create an Excel spreadsheet, but just make sure you're journaling your trades, because how are you going to know what you're doing wrong if you have nothing to review? Just like athletes study film, even me for door-to-door sales, every time I go to a door and I'm pitching, I'm actually recording the pitch. So when I come back home, I can listen and say, oh, I should have said this instead. And I write it down. So the next time I encounter that situation, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Same thing for your trades. If you don't have anything to review, how are you going to know what you need to work on? That's what I would say. Oh, and last one. Once you feel like you're ready to trade, don't open up a demo account, because that eliminates the biggest part of trading, which is emotions. You have absolutely no emotional tie to the account, therefore you don't care. Start up with $100 account, even $50, and just trade a 0.01 or a 0.02. I would say a 0.02. That way you can practice closing partials, leaving a runner. I'm really big on that. And then do that for at least 3 months. If you can consistently be in the green or be in profit on that account for 3 months, then that means you're ready for a funded account. Because think about it, proper risk is the same setups, everything is the same. The only thing that changes with the account size is the lot size. But if you've got the fundamentals, the technicals, and your psychology is in place, you're gonna pass the funded account like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, saying, let's say you make one quick big flip and you just happen to get lucky, the market was in your favor that day, and then you want to take that profit and put it in a funded account and do the same thing, just a quick flip on the funded, you're going to lose. So build the consistency with a small account, because one, you're building the consistency and you're getting used to the emotions of trading your money,
Mhm.
and then you just trade the funded account and it's going to be smooth sailing from there.
Yep, it's all about just following your plan and and trusting in your strategy.
Yes,
And if you could follow your plan and trust in your strategy, then there's no way you can't succeed. It's one day at a time. Like you said, you can't just flip it. Like it's possible, but you can't just do that most times. And more than likely, the market will show you exactly where you are. So, like emotionally and like as a person. So you definitely have to respect the markets and respect yourself in order like to be able to be successful and be able to be profitable.
definitely.
Okay, so how has your experience been with Rocket 21? Like how did you hear about us and what have you been able to accomplish with us?
Well, so far my experience with Rocket 21 is great. Payout was on time. When I actually first got my 25K account, I was having trouble set it up, and the response times, it's literally almost immediately. I would send a message to the support team, and about a minute later, I had a response, and that's something that I haven't seen anywhere else. So that's what I love. Payout was super quick. I was able to get from the 25K basically $3,000 payout, 2,800, and then with that, I was able to buy another funded account, but I did it with another company just because they had a little bit more funding. But that, like I said, that's when I let my emotions get to me. I thought I was like top of the mountain just because I got my first payout. And then I over leveraged on the 25K, blew that one. Then I tried a revenge trade on the 400K and I blew that one. So that's where I kind of messed up. But I've been having consistency on a small little account, which is
Mhm.
why now I'm ready to take another challenge and then just go full time on Forex.
Yeah, you got it. You'll definitely be able to accomplish.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What? I'm gonna be doing another interview again with you guys, but this time on a 300K payout.
Okay. Oh, okay. A
Yes,
300K payout
a
or a
300.
300K
No.
account?
300K account payout from a 300K account.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna hold you to that then. And
Okay.
yeah, good luck. Thank you so much for forming part of the community. We really appreciate you. And then I hope that you're able to inspire a lot of traders watching you and traders, around you or people around you. And I wish you all the success.
Thank you. Well, I want to say one more thing. One more thing that's helped me stay consistent. So trading, the journey is different from everybody. Some people might get it done in 1 year or 2 years. Some people might take them 6 years, 7 years. Who doesn't know?
Yeah.
I'm on my third year going into my fourth, and I'm just starting to find consistency. But one thing that really helped me out is this: a lot of people go to college, including myself. We went just because society tells you, your parents tell you, oh, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be successful.
Hmm.
So a lot of people go to college for 4 years with absolutely zero expectations just because it's something that they need to do, you
Hmm.
know? So if you just go into the same mindset with the way you go into college to trading, like let's just tell yourself, I'm gonna give this 4 years. I'm just gonna dedicate myself for 4 years, and see if something can come out of it. Instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna try this for 2 months, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna hop on to something new. Because it's a skill that once you learn, your income is literally unlimited.
Hmm.
You can work from anywhere in the world and be absolutely free. Time freedom for me is the best. Time is the best asset because you cannot make more of it, you can't get it back. That's what I would say. Just think long term when you're thinking of Forex.
Yeah. And like the cool thing about trading is that like once you know about it, you're always going to have a form of having some sort of income.
Yes.
Or if you're just relying on a job, if something like COVID happens again, or if they just decide to let you go, then what? Then you have to start back from square one and be like, okay, well now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely like awesome like to know this skill because not only is it for anybody that wants to learn, but it's also something that you can get good at and have as an income, just in case. Or you could take it as a
Yeah.
profession like we do and take it serious and try to make it our career and our thing and like what we do. So yeah, definitely I love that,
And
like I agree with you.
to piggyback off of what you just said, sometimes you don't have to be necessarily passionate about trading. I got this from Mr. Teacup. He goes, you can use trading as a vehicle for other things that you're passionate about. So my brother likes to sell shoes and resell shoes. So I'm getting him into trading so he can take the money from trading and actually invest it into shoes and build up his inventory. And then
Hmm.
what I want to do with my payouts from trading. My uncle has a trucking business. He has a few trucks, but there's no investor to help him invest into his company. So I want to come in like an investor and help him buy trucks. He can run the business, he'll get a split, and all I am doing is putting money into the company. But that
Hmm.
wouldn't be possible without Forex. So
Yeah.
just to basically sum up what I'm saying is you don't necessarily have to be passionate about trading, but just know that if you learn trading, it can allow you to really venture into what your true passions are.
Hmm.
And that could be a reason why you start trading.
Yeah. I also think like once you trade, you do fall in love with it.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
it's like inevitable. So it does become a passion. But
Yeah.
yes, you're absolutely right. It just helps you open so many doors because you're not like it's unlimited. There's no cap. So like you're not waiting for your paycheck. You're getting your paycheck if you're still working, you're getting your paycheck and then like that's for you to live and then what you're doing is with forex or trading is for you to be able to fund your dreams. You're absolutely
Right.
right and I agree with you. It's definitely a blessing to be able to have something like this. um Yeah, and and it's cool because you could bless people around you always, because it's
Yes.
like it does, it's like what I love is just like, and I think I've said this before in other interviews and stuff, but it's that it's for anyone. Like you could be anywhere around the world. It doesn't ask you for papers. It doesn't ask you for anything. Like I know a lot of people like here in America itself is like people like can't get certain jobs just because they don't have papers or so trading is like something that like anyone can do and learn
Mhm.
if they really want to and do something big with it. So yeah, it's definitely something amazing. But yeah, okay. So
I was waiting for you to ask the next question. That's
oh
it.
no. Well, if you don't have anything else to say or to add, we can end it here. But you know, if you have anything
Um,
there.
just don't give up, guys. That's all I'm gonna say is don't give up and make sure you have a really good why, you know. I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for my mom, my brother, my sisters. I got like my entire family depending on me. And that's why don't get me wrong, about a year ago, I was questioning whether Forex is for me or not. I was like, man, it's just too hard. Like I can't get this down. But then that's when your why comes back into place. You know, I
Mm,
think about my mom, I think about my siblings, and I'm just like, if I quit, I'm not just quitting on myself. I'm quitting on my entire family. So yeah, just make sure you know why you're doing this. Don't give up. Always be a student. It's as long as you don't give up, it's gonna happen for you. It's
that's
gonna
good.
happen for you. You know, Ray Kroc, the founder, the one who made McDonald's what it is today, he didn't make his first million until he was 60 years old. So I feel a lot of us traders see FX Alex G, see like Swaggy, see Q Bank, see all these people who are so young and think to ourselves, man, we're behind. They're 23, they're 25, and they're making all these millions, and I'm not anything with my life. But we don't see that they started when they were 17, 16. So they got 5, 6 years ahead of us while we're starting at 20, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just don't rush the process. Have faith, and it's going to happen for you.
Everybody's journey is different. And what you said is like a lot of people get discouraged, but as long as you're like around the same people, like the people with the same mindset, because there's always those people that like just don't see it, and then there's people that see it, even if it's virtual, it's important to keep that circle in your mind open to these, like to seeing like people doing these things, because then if they can do it, you can do it. So
Right.
definitely always staying in around it and like just not giving up like you said. Yeah, that's really the key, and consistency and discipline and all that. And then there's no way you won't succeed. So yeah.
Yeah. Like they say, the universe always gives you the vision, but not the blueprint. Because if you see exactly what it takes to get there, you might get discouraged. But just know that if you have that vision, it's given to you for a reason, you know. And
Mhm.
if you're questioning whether or not you should do forex, just go for it. If you're in it right now, in your first year, second year, and you're struggling and you're questioning yourself, just keep going. Just
Mhm.
keep going because you're bound to find success. You know, there's no such thing as failure, only quitting. And if you don't
Mhm.
quit, you guarantee your success. That
Mhm.
that's my like final piece
Yeah,
of
and
advice.
it's also constantly learning. Like you have to constantly be learning because you don't like, yeah, you can learn forex in a year or two, and some people get success pretty quickly. It just depends on like their journey and like what they've learned. But as long as you're continuously learning and educating yourself and implementing what you learn, taking your experience as lessons and continuing, you're gonna get it down, and then eventually like it's just a numbers game. So like eventually you're going to be able to like get to the place where you like see yourself, so but we all start somewhere. We all have to start small in order to get big, because we're learning every step of that way. So yeah.
Do you want me to do my chart breakdown? This is what I'm looking at coming up either tonight or tomorrow. I'll see how it's playing out, right? So look, trend, right? Overall trend in the way I read the market, I would say it's still kind of bullish just because this is the last low that it created, right? Can you see it? The
Hmm.
last higher low before the new higher high. And we haven't broke down to this level. But there's a big difference between trend and momentum. So right now the momentum is bearish, right? Because if you see over the last 1, 2, 3 weeks, maybe even 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we've just been dropping from here. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So boom. Then we go down to the daily time frame. And if you look at the daily, right? So now you can even see the bearish structure a little bit better. So we start from here up, right there, lower low, lower high, a new lower low. So can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad. Give me 1 second. And then, so now I'm looking at it, right? So on the weekly, we got the momentum bearish. On the daily, the trend is bearish. So that's giving me another confluence. And if you see right here, very easy pattern to spot. Got a head and shoulders. You saw that real quick, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Head and shoulders. We have the neckline right here. And then if you notice, we broke below the neckline. All I'm waiting for now is a retest of the neckline to meet up with the moving average. I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to the 4 hour for my entry, right? So either this is how I play it. I always have two entries. I can either get in from here. Since this is not my desired entry, I'll probably get in with half a percent of risk. So not a 1%, like 0.5. Because there's always that chance that it might come up to this blue zone up here. So this is my first play right here. If it respects this, cool. And if it doesn't respect that, then I'll be looking to get in from right here with and then the way I pick out my stops is based on structure. But this is the last like lower high it created before dropping again. I don't know if you can see that. So I'll just put my stops above that. Because if it comes up above this and then it retests like above here, it keeps going up, then it's going to reverse to bullish. So I'm not really good at explaining my trades, but that's kind of how I view the markets, you know? And then I have my take profit at this point, because that's the last structure point on the weekly. If you
So
notice, it came right
you look
here.
at the higher time frames, like you don't trade like smaller time frames?
No, I don't go down. Maybe past the 1 hour. Because look, then you start getting lost. I say you get lost in the sauce.
So you're more like swing trader, and so you would look for your entries on the higher time frames?
Yes,
Okay,
correct. So
and you're like waiting longer. How long typically are you waiting for a trade?
it takes about a week pretty straight to set up. But
For
that's
for
why
it to set up or for you to get your take profit or
for
stop
it to
loss?
set up, for it to hit my take profit, sometimes a week, the longest a week and a half. So that's why I'm always looking have all these pairs up here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the beginning, people are gonna tell you just focus on one or two pairs so you can understand how they move. It's a good idea. You do get a good understanding for it. But once you know how to trade, if you still only focus on one or two pairs, like, you might not have a trade for weeks on end. You get me? Because not each pair is not always ready to be traded that week. If that makes sense.
That's where the patience comes in. For me, I usually just like will like back test like different pairs, but
Mhm.
I have like my main two pairs that I'll trade. And if nothing's
Uh,
set up, then I don't trade.
I see. I see what you mean. But for me, I mean, most of these FX pairs kind of move the same. So same thing for this one. Look, same setup I had going on here. But this is the weekly, very bearish momentum. If you can see here, do you see the head and shoulders again? And then the neckline, just waiting for that retest. Look. So I'm most likely to take this trade. I would want to see one of these candles.
How
The one
come?
that you see that doji one that I highlighted right there?
Mm-hmm. How
But
come?
form right next because it shows rejection to this neckline. It's going to be showing rejection to the upside. So the way I see it, when the candle goes up like this and then it closes again small, that means there wasn't enough buying pressure to go up. So if you see all this right here,
Mm-hmm.
that's rejection. That's how I read it. It's doesn't have enough buying pressure to close as a full candle above
Yeah.
the neckline. So if I get another one like this, it's going to basically show me that the buyers are being exhausted and the sellers are going to start coming in. And also it's just pattern recognition. I've seen it so many times that when I see that candle, I have a good like confidence that all right, it's going to drop. And remember guys, it's a game of probabilities. It's not always going to be 100% accurate because if anybody knew where the market was going to go, like for example, if I knew where the market was going to go 100% for sure, I'd go out and take $100,000 loan from the bank and full margin trade. But I don't know where the market is going. I just know that there's a higher probability of it dropping if I see that candle than of it going up.
Yeah. Also because it like it tested the candle and then it continued
Yeah.
downside and then it retested it like then that bullish candle tested it again and it formed like it respected your zone.
Yeah. So for example, if you really want to be meticulous about it, this is how I would do this. So for this trade to get enter, I would wait for so this is the last structure point. You know how it became on the smaller time frame, it turned bullish. It goes up, creates a higher low, higher high, higher low. So I would be waiting for this to get in. So a break below this, a retest, and then drop like that. That's kind of how I trade. And
Okay,
then
sure.
Same thing here. Look, same thing for all my trades. So we're on a daily. Came up here to this area. I trade pretty simple. Pretty simple. We had a double top right here. We broke below the neckline of that double top. If I retest it, get a rejection candle, then I'll take the sells down here. I'm not in this trade right now. I'm just waiting for it to come back. That's how I break down charts. I hope you guys are able to understand it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be helpful to a lot of traders out here watching you. Um, but okay, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for showing us how you trade, and yeah, thank you for forming part of our community.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.